Jeff McClain has a tweet out. I think we should wait to see a little bit more, but Jeff McClain has a tweet out of who the Eagles are selecting at number 30.
Go ahead. Who's he alluding to?
So, you guys want me? So, Jeff McClain says Eagles select Georgia outside linebacker Nolan Smith.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, I'm not. Yeah. That's not a shocking. I thought you were gonna wow us with somebody.
No. He was the only one though, and I know that I don't always. Our beat reporters, I'm not always ready to just jump on board with their tweets, but.
And they're not always high on Jeff McClain. Sometimes they.
NBC Sports Philadelphia, yeah.
Wow. Georgia North, baby. Georgia
That's so funny. North. You could do a lot worse.
Oh, my God.
You can do a lot. Anything would be worse. I mean, Alabama, Clemson, LSU. I mean, you're not going wrong.
Nolan Smith ran a 4.39 40-yard dash, one of the biggest winners of the combine maybe ever. His 40-yard dash was faster than Saquon Barkley, DeAndre Hopkins, and Stephon Diggs. 41.5-inch vertical. That would have been the second highest mark of any player at last year's combine, only behind Tariq Woolen, who had a phenomenal year last year. 6'2", kind of a guy that can learn under Hassan Reddick and really attack the quarterback. Had a ridiculous 10-yard split of 1.51 seconds. That time and how that compares to other NFL edge rushers is better than Nick Bosa, Von Miller, Max Crosby, and Myles Garrett. This is a super, super raw pass rusher. He needs to, take his time learning in the NFL. So unlike Jalen Carter, I think Nolan Smith might have some growing pains in year one for sure. But, I mean, he's going to learn under Brandon Graham. He's going to learn under Hassan Reddick. You're banking on the tools here, and I'm good with this pick.
Yeah, this is a home run swing.
The Eagles have about 40 people in their draft room that all just came in like the last 2 minutes for this pick.
Is that Sproles? Is that Darren Sproles? Short guy in the back if you're looking at your TV to the right? Because isn't he part of the organization?
He looks a little too big to be Darren.
Yeah, he looks a little too swole.
Yeah.
A little swole.
Looks like Mark.
Albert Breer just tweeted out, Eagles are taking Georgia offensive linebacker Nolan Smith. Now they have Davis, Dean, Carter, and Smith from the 2021 historic Georgia defense.
I mean, they just said, hey, that was the best defense in college football history. They will all be ours. That's insane. I mean, coming into the night, I would have been fine with Nolan Smith at 10. So to go get Jalen Carter for the cost of a 4th-round pick next year, and then for Nolan Smith inexplicably to fall all the way to 30 and to be the pick, like there is not a team that nailed the draft more tonight than the Eagles. It's just incredible value with both of their picks.
There's PSG. All those guys are on there.
Nolan Smith he's a ridiculous athlete. He's undersized, 238 pounds, but he was a very good edge setter in the running game in the SEC. I think he can do that at the next level too. He's got great bend. He needs to develop like some pass rush moves, but that's why you draft the guy into the rotation that the Eagles have. He's not going to have to step in and be a year one, play 70% of the snaps guy. You can put him out there and you're going to be able to do such creative things with Nolan Smith on one side and Hassan Reddick on the other in terms of what Sean Desai likes to do, making everything look the same pre-snap, and then he bails guys into coverage and he'll bring blitzers and rotate coverages and things like that. That's a really exciting pick. There shouldn't be an Eagles fan that's disappointed in any way with anything that happened tonight.
Yeah. I'm not a big Nolan Smith guy at all. But keeping that in its context, I had him 29th. So I had him ranked higher than he got drafted. I will say the inexplicably fall to 30. I don't think it's inexplicable at all. He doesn't have sack or hurry production, and his best trait was him being a run defender. And I think there's like less than a 30% chance that this guy's playing run defense over the next 2 years at under 240 pounds, which we didn't have. We didn't have any player in the NFL last year starting at edge under 240 pounds. So there are legitimate reasons that Nolan Smith fell. But this is where Nolan Smith should go, in my opinion, in this range at the back end of the first round as a home run swing. What I've said constantly about Nolan Smith, I don't know if Dives made this player comparison graphic with Nolan Smith, but Nolan Smith is the answer of if you were to take a wide receiver in Madden and you change this position to defensive end. And he goes from an 88 at wide receiver to an 86 at the end or whatever. He's DeAndre Hopkins at the end. That is what Nolan Smith is. Like, it's hard to find an edge rushing comparison because he's an anomaly. And that, by the way, him being an anomaly, that could mean he's an exception to the rule and he is a Son Reddick and he follows in that guy's footsteps and learns from him. But it could also mean that he is the rule and not the exception. So there's a lot of risk with this pick. I don't expect him to be an important member of the team in year one whatsoever, but you're taking a home run swing on a guy with elite plus athleticism. So I totally understand at this stage taking him.
Yeah. By the way, your comp about the wide receiver or whatever, if you go to ras.football.com where we get all these relative athletic scores, and if you can change their position and run them as a different position, if you run him as a wide receiver, he's a 10.0. He would be the most athletic receiver that's ever tested.
Yeah.
And he's playing defensive end. That's just insane.
Well, I think that says something, that we are talking about a guy who's not your normal defensive end. This isn't like the same strength option at defensive end. This isn't the same build that you're normally getting. So this is a freak. This is a unicorn. That doesn't always mean that it works, but it means that, he's a special talent. He's not someone that you're going to find a clone of. There's a lot of players who you can say, why draft X in the first round when you can draft a similar guy X in the third round? You can't say that with Nolan Smith because he is so specific and he is such a home run swing. So there's a lot of reasons to feel a lot of ways about this pick, but when you combine it with the fact that you're putting him next to 3 Georgia players who he's played with, I think that makes you feel a lot better. Go get Keely Ringo.
Yeah.
By the way, as Nolan Smith is getting picked, he goes to celebrate. One of the first hands he shakes, Nakobe Dean is at his house for his draft party.
Wow.
Right? No way.
You won't find someone who believes harder in Nakobe Dean than me. I still think that guy's going to be an elite linebacker in the NFL.
That's just it's exciting, right? I mean, these guys all know each other. They all know each other well. They've won championships together.
Which is huge coming off. Here, think of it this way. You have a new defensive coordinator in Desai. We have no clue what we're going to get from him. And they're keeping that close to the chest. So it means you have new schemes, new things to learn. You lost some players. You needed to get younger, and you're doing that, and you're getting the guys who already know each other. So the learning curve is not as big as a curve as it normally would be, which I think is a huge plus that people may look past.